It's my pleasure to introduce our next guest from the Center for Breakthrough Medicines, co-founder Audrey Greenberg, President and Chief Executive Officer George Algrim, and a number of your key important staff members. As a reminder to attendees, if you'd like to ask a question of our speakers, please type it into the question box under the video player. Audrey, could you please introduce the other members of your team with us today?
Sure, happy to. Jörg Algrim, our CEO, Avi Nandi, our Vice President of Process Development, John Lee, Vice President of Cell Therapy Manufacturing, Emily Moran, Vice President of Viral Vector Manufacturing, and last but certainly not least, Dana Cipriano, Senior Vice President of Testing and Analytical Services. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, great to have all of you here today with us today. So Audrey and Jörg, could you provide a couple minutes of introductory comments about the Centers for Breakthrough Medicines for audience attendees who are new to the company?
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having us. So we are an advanced therapy CDMO located in King of Prussia, close to Philadelphia. And we are solely focused on solving critical manufacturing and development issues in the advanced therapy space. Our mission is to save and protect lives. We do that, of course, together with our clients. We are innovating to make sure that we have rapid technology platforms available for our clients to significantly reduce their time to market and to R&D. And we are building out an unprecedented amount of capacity and capability within one location here in King of Prussia. We made tremendous progress over the last 18 months, or since we spoke last at this conference here a year ago. We are now roughly 300 people. We have built out 100,000 square feet of space, and we rapidly continue to increase our capabilities and capacities.
And Audrey, did you have anything to add to that?
Oh, just that we see ourselves really as a differentiated CDMO. We have an end-to-end offering, very comprehensive, all in one site in what we like to call Silicon Valley in Philadelphia. And something that's really interesting about our platform, perhaps versus others, is that we have 1 million square feet on our campus, all in one location, where we have plasmid, vector, cell therapy, all supported by a full line of testing and analytics, and a really robust and comprehensive quality and regulatory platform.
And did you have a short video you wanted to show as well?
Oh, no, I don't know. I thought we sent it to you guys, but we don't have it handy here. But we're happy to send it after the fact and have you guys play it.
Okay, well, very good. Well, let's proceed. Jörg, last year at this conference, the overwhelming consensus was that there was insufficient supply to meet demands for development and manufacturing services, and this was resulting in scheduling backlogs. So from your perspective as a CDMO, what's the current state of the industry in terms of capacity?
Yeah, we still believe there's a backlog and a shortage of capacity over demand. Definitely in the mid and long term, we all believe strongly that the science in that space works, and it's a matter of bringing those therapies to market. And in order to successfully do that, we definitely need more capacity. Very, very short term, I do think we see some turbulence in the marketplace, and this manifests itself by companies trying to sell off or in some form or fashion build partnerships for their respective manufacturing facilities. So we'll see a bit of turbulence there, but I don't think, nor do we here at CBM think, that this will impact the midterm needs for the industry to be successful.
Okay, great. Well, Avi, let me bring you into the conversation. Given the complexity of the biology of cell and gene therapies, the CDMO model is very much at the heart of CGT compared to traditional biologics. So what is the vision for the CBM concept?
Yes, thank you. So here at CBM, we believe that clients should rely on us to be the CMC experts, and really allow the clients, or you, to focus on creating new and innovative medicines. So what we have here at CBM are process development capabilities, scale-up capabilities, manufacturing with supportive traditional and advanced analytics to really promote the success of a client's process development and product development to meet their milestones. And so what we believe is if you allow us to focus on the CMC, it'll then enable clients to really be able to save and focus, what we believe is their precious time, resource, maybe, primarily their funds, which can, can be scarce at this point, on their pipeline and innovating new medicines.
Well, great. Jorg, you talked about having a number of advancements since we last spoke, and I'm wondering if we can have you comment a little deeper on a few of them, specifically the $350 million equity investment by SK, the collaboration agreement with UPenn's gene therapy program you announced earlier this year, and most recently the launch of your analytical testing services lab. So Audrey, you want to touch on some of these, and then Dana, maybe you can talk about the analytical testing lab.
Yeah, we're really excited about the partnership with SK. They're the second largest holding company in South Korea. They've been a great partner with us. We imagine a very bright future together. They infused $350 million, essentially as a lump sum, and announced at the beginning of this year, really to help us bring online all of our, continue to bring online, I should say, all of our manufacturing capacity, build a stellar team, as you can see demonstrated here on your screen, and put in place foundational technological and innovative platforms so that we can offer that to the cell and gene therapy community. So we're very pleased about that partnership. They have a great culture that is, just incredibly synergistic with ours. And in addition to that, they are nice strategically because they have some investments in the cell and gene therapy space. So for those three reasons, we really saw them as a great partner. We're very pleased with that. And in terms of the University of Pennsylvania strategic research agreement, very pleased to sponsor research in the AAV gene therapy space and bring online advanced platforms, know-how, analytics, and materials so that innovator companies can more quickly get through the clinical pipeline with the FDA as expeditiously as possible by bringing in place, platform concepts. So we're very pleased by the partnership with Dr. Wilson and his team. And then I'll let Dana talk about testing and analytics.
Yeah, thanks, Audrey. So very excited that we announced the opening of our testing and analytical services business unit last year, opening up to basically support our process development labs right across the hall from our testing operation, as well as supporting manufacturing and external clients. So having a full comprehensive menu of services that can support all of cell and gene therapy, it's really important initiative for us, and we're very excited to be able to support both R&D and GMP services for our customers.
Great. So I guess the next thing we'll look for you to do is bring online your manufacturing capacity. So Emily, could you lay out how we should expect to see that occur?
Absolutely. So in 2022, I'm thrilled to announce we'll be having 5 viral vector suites going live, 10 cell therapy suites, and 3 plasmid manufacturing suites, with 6 more viral vector suites coming online shortly in 2023. So we have GMP manufacturing slots available for this year, and we're excited to bring even more on. So we have a ton of capacity coming online here at CDM.
Well, let me ask you all a couple of questions about the current state of the environment. Emily, what else do you see as current manufacturing bottlenecks that are preventing CBM from advancing its initiatives as fast as you would like to?
Sure. So even before we get to manufacturing, some of the biggest supply chain challenges we've seen have been with the materials to construct the facility. So that was difficult for us to acquire some of it, steel primarily being the number one bottleneck. We were able to overcome a lot of those, and our facility is ready to go. Process equipment has been challenging, but I have to say we have the best vendors that have been resourceful and kind of really smart to try to get us different pieces of equipment so that we could bring all of our capabilities online when we need them. Talent was something we were really worried about, but we are in Philadelphia, as Audrey said, Silicon Valley, and there is no shortage of talent here. So from a talent perspective, we've really been able to build the best team I've ever seen. I'm sure everybody would agree, but those were all some of the roadblocks that we faced.
Great. And recently, because of market valuations, we've seen a number of pre-commercial stage biotech companies announce strategic initiatives designed to extend their current cash runways. And this includes headcount reductions and pipeline rationalization. Are you seeing this translate into increased demand for your CDMO services?
Midterm, definitely. And I do believe that what's happening right now is a bit of a, I would say, process which corrects some of the overemphasis on building internal manufacturing. Many of those facilities are rather small and underutilized, even with that, small size, so to speak. And I think the performance of the CDMO industry in previous years may have led to some of those desires to have your own manufacturing, control your own manufacturing. And I think the future for cell and gene therapy, in my eyes, depends a lot on us as an industry finding a way to be more resourceful altogether, which means that the CDMOs have to be better in their performance, have to be more customer-centric, have the right technology platforms, the right capabilities and capacities, so that the innovator companies are not feeling the urge to build their own manufacturing and run down that path of committing hundreds of millions of dollars in building those. So I believe, yes, short term, this is very painful, and I'm sad about every announcement I see about layoffs. Midterm, I think it will lead us and force us as an industry to get to a better model of developing these therapies, have the right roles and responsibilities between innovator companies and CDMOs, and find more efficient and cheaper ways of developing and manufacturing those therapies.
So, one of the themes that we've talked about, today and also last year is that the manufacturing needs of small biotechs will change along their journey to commercialization. So, Avi, how does CBM going to support them along this journey, starting first with the move from the lab bench to supplying product for IND enabling human clinical studies, and then all the way through commercialization scale up. And again, with this kind of extension of cash runways, it may be allowing them to partner up with you even sooner. But give us your thoughts on the kind of the life cycle of the relationship.
Sure. So at CBM, we have established expertise and capabilities to then provide fit-for-purpose development solutions to support client programs, assets at any stage of development. So to begin, we have a technical group that's broken down into the key necessary disciplines to support the advanced therapy space. So whether it's nucleic acids, viral vectors, cell therapies, the associated drug products, and then manufacturing sciences to support implementation and GMP support. So on that note, we also have capabilities at multiple scales. So whether it's a fantastic idea that we need to then translate into a product by means of a process, we can do that at our bench scale through those different disciplines. And then we have dedicated teams to then support the scale up through our pilot operations, to support tech transfer into our GMP operations, and then have a manufacturing sciences team to then support ongoing manufacture in that area. The important aspect being that we have expertise through the different areas that we believe are required, but there's also a commonality of technical support to really be engaged with a client's product throughout its development life cycle. And we believe that that is integral into having successful product development. Now, with that being said, it's important to note that assets at different stages of development have different priorities. So for example, early stage assets, we understand that there's a fine balance of the amount that you invest into any one given asset relative to the amount of time that you spent developing it. So what we do here is we focus on established technologies that we know will efficiently develop a product and enable it to get to that IND milestone that we know is critical for many of these startup companies, while maintaining that emphasis on quality, but then allowing for that streamlined process. We also understand for later stage assets, for example, those entering pivotal studies, that the priorities change. You want a scaled up process that has higher yield, has more robust operation, more focus on characterization. but you're also setting up for your BLA. So while you're manufacturing for a pivotal study, you want to be prepared for that next step of commercialization. And then for clinical, for assets that are then going to be commercialized, there's an understanding that one, you really need that robust operation. You need that consistency in operations to hit that desired product quality profile. But you also want to be able to reduce costs, reduce your manufacturing cycle times. And this is done primarily through process optimization, where you have that fix but don't change mentality. So, taken together, what we believe here is having a focus on the priorities for assets at different stage of the product development life cycle. And by really understanding those priorities, we believe we can, gain in efficiencies that will then benefit the client both in time and resources.
Great. Let me go back to Dana and talk about the analytics and your assays. What are you doing to improve the performance of your assays to characterize potency, purity, and other important product attributes? And do you view this as a key strategic attribute to retain clients as they get bigger, and perhaps some of those who have a platform technology and are going to think about maybe at some point manufacturing everything in-house? But again, given the critical nature of the analytics and the assays, perhaps that's something that they're going to continue to need you to do. Can you comment on that?
Yes, absolutely. So at CBM, we're very focused on the differentiators that we can provide to clients, especially in the advanced analytics. So when you look at a lot of the challenges that companies have had with CMC holds, really being able to focus on the potency assays early and orthogonal methods to evaluating potency. So we've been really partnering with our customers to have that ability to be able to work with them early in the process, develop those methods, validate those methods, and then take them through the life cycle. So we will continue to add new innovation as well. So we do partner with a lot of our clients to evaluate comparability with different technologies that are coming onto the market. As we know, a lot of the analytics are nascent at this point.
Great. And John, I haven't forgotten about you. Let me bring you into the discussion here. We obviously, I think our audience understands that the challenges for cell therapy manufacturing are different in many respects than gene therapy. So what technology advancements do you believe could have a significant impact on reducing the manufacturing cost of autologous cell therapies?
Yeah, this is a great question. It's one that we ask ourselves quite often, trying to understand what type of technology can really enhance or otherwise better the manufacturing of cell therapies. I think the most obvious thing is to remove the human element as much as possible by going from open to closed systems. In our haste to get this very important modality to patients in need, a lot of times we've put together imperfect processes that are open and heavily reliant upon human interaction. And the more we can do to automate and otherwise close those systems, I think that's going to go a long way to lowering the COGS and the logistical hurdles associated with getting these into patients. Beyond that, we're seeing companies like Gracell, we're seeing Novartis with their Key Charge platform doing reduced harvest manufacturing, where we're taking these longer 3-week processes and jamming them into, in some cases, 2 to 3 days. This is going it's going to be win-win for everybody. It'll be a win for the payers because it should bring down COGS dramatically. It's a win for us as a CDMO because we can have more throughput through our facility. And obviously it's a win for the patients because they're not going to have to wait in some cases over a month for their treatments. They'll have them within a week. And then, I think that the next, evolution of where we're headed is into the allogeneic space. We're seeing really promising data. As recent as today, NCART announced that they're seeing 47% objective response rates in AML patients with allogeneic healthy donor-derived NK cells. And as we get into that allogeneic space and start to demonstrate success, what you're going to see is that the COGS are going to come down just because we can achieve economies of scale that are untouchable in the autologous space.
Well, great. So Audrey, when you were mentioning the SK investment, you talked about a cultural fit. And let me ask innovation, especially big ideas, come with big risk and requires challenging the dogma of wanting to apply old ideas to a new field. So in building this company from scratch, you have the advantage of establishing the type of culture you need to achieve success. So can you describe your culture?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, our culture is strongly rooted in the belief that we can make a difference in patients' lives through building this company and with all of the capabilities and capacities which we have. Second, we are creating an environment where everybody can bring their best to the table or to the workplace in order to excel and make sure that all of the great experiences people have can be used to find the best idea to move things forward. And then maybe third, fail, but fail fast. We do allow our teams to run very agile and independently. But of course, we want to make sure that we find a point in time where it's long enough to have followed an idea and make sure we do a course correction. But we allow our teams to make errors. And I think errors is usually what you learn best from as long as you catch them as early as possible. So very inclusive culture focused on, diversity and an open communication and collaboration. Well,
great. Yeah, as a former engineer, I can tell you I learned a lot more from when I designed something and it didn't work as expected. I had to figure out why. Avi, let me ask you a forward-looking question. What do you think will be the biggest changes in cell and gene therapy manufacturing 5 years from now?
Sure. So, with every month, with every year that passes, we have a better understanding of the relationship between process performance, product quality attributes, and clinical outcomes. This with the appreciation that more and more assets are going to be entering, later stage development, it's really going to result in a focus on some key, areas and technologies. One, we believe that there's going to be a focus on scale, right? So the manufacturing scales that are used now are primarily supporting phase 1 studies. And then, obviously there are some more fortunate assets that are supporting larger scale studies, but there's really going to be that driver to, one, be able to supply larger patient populations, but then also to reduce COGS. Secondary to that, we believe that, there's going to be a focus on automation, right? So as processes mature, as products mature, you're going to really want to maintain consistency. So really having the implementation of more automation. And then next is going to be a focus on, critical raw materials that are used in the process. So as I kind of mentioned before, really having a set standard for some of these critical raw materials that then enter your process. And I guess maybe one of the last things I'll mention is on the analytical side. So, the more we use these analytics to support cell and gene therapies, the more we understand their significance in the understanding of the data they generate, as it relates to the product safety and efficacy. And I think, we're really going to see advancements in that in that area as well.
Great. So Jorg and Audrey, in summary, how is CBM differentiating itself to become the preferred CDMO partner?
So clearly, we have a very, very strong team. So as evidenced by the folks here in this call, we have been very fortunate with the people we are hiring, a good blend between innovator company and CDMO experience, which we believe we have found a way to merge and blend those cultures and experiences together to create a unique customer experience. That brings me to the second. I think our approach to work with the client is truly bringing partnership and collaboration to a new level in terms of how we work together and how we are open for detailed collaboration at all levels. Third, the amount of capability and capacity we bring online is unprecedented, meaning we will have on a single site the capability to produce any advanced therapy, specifically, at least in the short term, in cell and gene therapy, on one location without any need for additional outsourcing, which significantly shrinks cycle times and reduces complexity. And we are extremely innovative in terms of technology platforms we are bringing to the company on all angles, be it for manufacturing, be be it for analytics, but be it also for supporting systems, supply chain, for example, or data analytics, in order to make sure that we are building a platform company which truly defines the future of manufacturing in that space. And then last but not least, I think we're just easy to work with. So looking for business, looking forward to meet all of you and build a great relationship.
Great. Audrey, anything to add?
Well, thank you so much for having us. We can't wait to have everyone from a tour. I know it's scheduled in, I believe it's in June. So please come see our site, meet our amazing team, and experience the wonderful region that we are based in. Thanks.
Well, great. Thanks all of you for joining us today.
Thanks, Kay.
Thank you.
Thank you.